Suburbs Rugby League Football Club would like to take this time to thank its many sponsors. Major sponsor West Illawarra, part of the Astor Group, Benedict Recycling, Unidera Physiotherapy, KJ Industrial Scaffolding, Kimmy Cleaning Services, Coca-Cola, Russell Hayes Builder, TBC Distributions, New England Constructions. When you want the best, forget the rest. K&R Fabrications, haha, Thirroul. Elite Landscaping, Shire Steel, Sterling's Financial Services, Coniston Hotel, and The Agency, Illawarra.
That try was scored by number 4, Michael Appleby. The score now is Western Suburbs 4. Thirroul yet to score. Mitchie Phillips converts that try. The score now is Western Suburbs 6, Thirroul yet to score. That try was scored by number 7, Corey Tulloch. Score now is Western Suburbs 6, Thirroul 4.
Robbie Hawk.
Taj Whitefoot converts that try to tie us up at 6 points all. That try was scored by Thirroul. Score now is converted. The score is 12 points to Thirroul, 6 points to West. That try scored by number 9, Peter Nibbs. Score now is Western Suburbs 10, Thirroul 12.
Thank you, Matthew, because I was misdirected down here.
Mate, he'd look after you, Russ.
I don't know, mate. Do you know, I couldn't trust him as far as I could throw him.
That try was converted by Mitch Phillips. The score now is Western Suburbs 12, Thirroul 12. Just like to announce, if you want a chance to win $1,000 today, costs you $100. You get an old boys jumper that the boys are playing out there today, a pair of training shorts, and there's only 70 tickets. So get your 100 out. That try to West by number 24, Zan Weatherall, I hope. West 16 with the kick to come. Take your finger off it, Russ.
That sideline conversion by Mitchy Phillips was successful. West 18, Thirroul 12. Western Suburbs Rugby League Football Club would like to take this time to thank its many sponsors. Major sponsor, West Illawarra, part of the Astor Group. KJ Industrial Scaffolding, Kimmy Cleaning Services, Print Media, TBC Distributions, New England Constructions, K&R Fabrications, Elite Landscaping, Shire Steel, Sterling Financial Services, Coniston Hotel, The Agency Illawarra, Russell Hayes Villa. And Unidera Physiotherapy. That's right, a West by Jack Walsh. West 22 with a kick to count. 22. And that conversion was successful by Miss Phillips. West 24, Thirroul 12. That penalty conversion by Mitch Phillips is successful. West 26, Thirroul 12.
Just like to remind everyone, if they want a chance to win $1,000 today, costs you $100. You get a playing jumper that the boys are playing in, a pair of training shorts, and a chance to win $1,000. There's only 70 tickets. Get your cash out at the canteen. I'll do this one, Russ. That try was scored by Max. West 30, Thirroul 12.
I heard that was Big Maxi. That conversion by Mitchy Phillips was successful. West 32, Thirroul 12. At the conclusion of the reserve grade fixture, Western Suburbs Red Devils have come out victorious, 32 points to Thirroul's 12. Western Suburbs Rugby League Football Club would like to take this time to thank its many sponsors. West Illawarra, major sponsor of the club from the Astor Group, Benedict Recycling, Unidera Physiotherapy, KJ Industrial Scaffolding, Kimmy Cleaning Services, Print Media, TBC Distributions, K&R Fabrications, Shire Steel, Elite Landscaping Supplies, New England Constructions, The Agency Illawarra, Coniston Hotel, Thirroul's Financial Services, and Marcela's Villa.
Just like to remind everyone at the conclusion of the first grade game, we have our 3 league tag games on tonight, so we're in for a big night. Let's go the Devils.
Yeah, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. All coming through good.
One, two, 1-2. Oh, mate, I would be seeing dead.
And good afternoon. Welcome to a sunny Parish Park for this absolute blockbuster between competition leaders and reigning premiers West Devils against last year's grand finalists, the Thirroul Butchers, making their way on to the park. I'm joined, as always, by the voice of the North, Johnny Pett. Johnny, we've been talking about this one for about a month or maybe even longer. Huge carrot on the line here today. As we've said, the winners inside running for the minor premiership, and the losers today risk slipping to third spot in an elimination semi-final in week 1 of the postseason. Plenty at stake, Johnny, but it's finally arrived after all these weeks of talking about it.
Well, it has finally arrived, and yes, we have been talking about it. It feels like about a month we've been all focused on this game. We've known for a couple of weeks now that this one is going to count so much towards that, that semi-finals time in a few weeks, and it's just got that feel about it. It's Old Boys Day here at Parish Park. There's a lot of retro jumpers here as we see the Devils come onto the field, let out by their inspirational skipper Mitch Porter. There's so much at stake, Mitch. One of these teams is going to probably secure the minor premiership. The other one is going to run third.
And you did mention there, Johnny, Mitchy Porter back, a huge inclusion, a couple of big inclusions in the lineup, Johnny, if you do want to run us through.
Yeah, for the Western Suburbs Red Devils, they're coached by Pete McLeod. At fullback, Tony Pello. The wingers, Mitchell Barbudo and Declan Morrissey. The centres, Lachlan Hurst, and that man back with the C next to his name, Mitch Porter. The halves, Reece Hambry, Justin Rodriguez. The front row, Zach Blake, Kieran Rankmore. Number 9, Zach Green. The back row, Will Tamari, Joseph Dixon and Wade Stanford. The bench, John Martin, Nathan Leotingaga, Daniel Zohar and Dylan Laurie. And for the visiting side, the Thirroul Butchers, coached by Jared Costello. At fullback, Blake Higgins. The wingers, Hayden Crosland and Tom Simpson. The centres, Wayne Dargan, Callum Tatower. The halves, Ryan Fletcher and Jake Walsh. The front row, Damien Sirenen and Joel Ruskin. And number 9, Joel Johnson, the skipper. The back row, Luke Gallagher, Luke Dodge, Jared Whitty, and the bench, Jack Noble, Mick Henderson, Aaron Shop and Cooper Purcell.
Well done, Johnny. You accelerated through that one right inside for the first hit of the match there. It will be Blay. And just listening to some of the names you read out there, Johnny, matchups all over the park. Absolutely mouth-watering. Looking forward to the way this one will play out. It's the Devils doing it the hard way out of their own end here. Rankmore takes it up towards the 20. Numbers in the tackle for the Butchers. Green at dummy half. And Stanford also missed a bit of footy of late. Such a key man in the Devils lineup. He takes his first carry of the afternoon. This is Blay again, his second carry of the set, throwing himself right into it. So we see Reece Hambry in the background taking a tumble. They're all around the ball here, and there we go. A penalty in the opening set. Referee Ryan Jackson, he's making his presence known early on. Johnny, you don't like to see the P blown out of the whistle, but I don't mind the early penalty just to keep the sides apart and just to lay some authority there, because they're going to be trying to pinch every inch they can, these two sides.
Oh, both sides will be trying to get that advantage over the other one. Ryan Jackson, he's probably the man for the job. I tend to feel he's the number 1 referee in this competition.
Agreed.
And I really like that he's got the centre duties today with the whistle. But look, a bit of a piggyback penalty there awarded to the Devils. The Butchers, they'll be filthy on that one, just lying all over the ruck. I don't think we'll see that twice in the near future.
I think it was a hand on the ball, Johnny, too, which is one of those unforgivable ones. It's a habit. It's probably a habit people pick up from days gone by where you could get away with that sort of stuff, but it's one of those tip sheet things for the referees now. You simply can't get away with that, and we're short of footy here, so a bit of sting just taken out of this start.
They mustn't have paid the ball boy the coke and the meat pie. He's off.
The old boy's his way. Maybe there's a bit of a strike going on, demanding 2 pies. And we will get underway, Rankmore. Plenty of venom in that carry from Rankmore, as there always is. Short side now for Tamari. Got to love the look of Will Tamari back in the back row on his preferred left edge. That'll be a battle on this side, him and Luke Gallagher. One to watch throughout the afternoon. Rankmore, the tip on for Stanford. He's 20 metres out, directly in front of the post as they'll come left. Hambry shimmies in, then goes out. Jake Walsh making that tackle with Gallagher, and the ball's come out there, and I think it might have got some help. It did. Bit of a tough one where the ball gets sort of stuck on the arm there, Johnny, but certainly got some help on the way out. The way it popped out there, or you have to conclude, got a bit of a nudge.
It popped out too easy there to be just a mistake from the ball carrier there, as we see.
An interesting one, the 2 points taken. We see West coach Pete McLeod, he's playing the long game here, obviously. You've got a couple of guys in your lineup, Zach Green, Mitch Porter, they can kick it a mile. So probably considers it a gimme 2 points here. But an interesting one. Butcher's yet to have the footy, Johnny. You think they might have wanted to keep the pressure on there and really twist that knife, but playing the percentages here.
Probably not the call I would have done as a coach out there, Mitch. If I was coaching Western Suburbs side, I'd have just kept applying pressure. Back-to-back penalties, you would have got 6 tackles up your sleeve, 15 metres out from the Butcher's try line. But in saying that, the psychological advantage of getting an early 2 points must be absolutely crucial on Pete McLeod's mind, because he's thinking, as you said, it's going to be the long game. This one's going to go that whole 80 minutes.
This is what we talk about, Johnny. That's probably why we're up here calling the action, and he's the reigning premiership winning coach.
Exactly.
So I'll err on the side of his wisdom. There's Green to attempt the kick. Taking his time with it is Zach Green. And he's off the upright there. We get the deflection. And now it's back on the attack. I don't know if that was part of the plan, Johnny.
Well, it's come up in the hands of Western Suburbs. Could have gone anywhere there. So they've got their 6 tackles up their sleeve now, Mitch.
There you go. Same result as we go. The football god's smiling on the Devils there. Short side now, Laurie. Second man for Rodriguez. Rodriguez off his right foot, but well read on that side there. Luke Dodge. Big inclusion on his own side. Or in his own right, rather, for the Butchers. Missed a bit of footy of late. Luke Dodge. Rodriguez at first receiver. On to Hanbury. Expansive stuff early on Hanbury. The offload back on the inside. And that's a bit of a tough one there, Johnny. If you're Joel Ruskin, the big front rower coming across, closing the gate, you're not gonna give him much rope there, are you?
No, you're not. And there we go. We're going to see
the 2 taken. I'm not surprised to see that one.
I think we'll see Zach Green put this one over the black dot down the northern end there. But look, tackled without the ball. It was one of those.
It's a 50-50 one for me.
It had to be made there because the ball was going to go into the chest of the Western Suburbs player.
Yeah.
I think it was Damien Siren in there. He had to make the effort.
I think we're in the minority with that opinion up here in the West Media box, Johnny. But it will be another attempt at 2 points from Zach Green, this time from closer. And regardless of where we're at, Johnny, Thirroul yet to touch the footy. We're 6 minutes in, so having to do some of that defensive work early on, you don't want to have to do too much of that. Like the looks of Reece Hanbury taking the line on so early, Johnny. He's been this year, obviously, an absolute quality player. Most of his work before the line this year, but he's really tucking the ball under here and digging into the line. It's what you like to see early on from your number 6.
He's hit his fringe as well this season, hasn't he? But just the way he's been taken on the line, he gets it right. He looks comfortable, doesn't he?
He certainly gets it right. You back him to take the right option most of the time. Zach Green will attempt this one from much closer this time. And he almost thought he'd shank that one as well. He got a decent piece on it. Well, they weren't even backing that one in up here in the box this time, Johnny.
No.
Ugly off the boot. But
there's a sigh of relief around Parish Park then, wasn't there? Once that
it was a bit of we were here a couple of weeks ago, a bit of a Weatherall type trajectory on that one, the low into the breeze one. But the result is 2 points. And of course, we'll see how crucial that one proves. But do the Butchers walk a little bit taller there, Johnny?
Look, I think they will, because they'll take out of it that West of just thinking those 2 points were on offer there, where they could have kept applying pressure at the defensive line there. So it just goes to show there's a bit of respect for this Butchers defensive unit.
In fact, that may be what it comes down to. Plenty of healthy respect between both these two sides. Obviously played in last year's grand final. What a grand final that was, as Hurst takes it up over the 20. Just as calling some of these names, Johnny, that's Tamari as well. You remember some inclusions and make you realise how, at times, depleted the Devils have been through this season. We quite haven't touched on it too much because they've put such good 17s on the park every week, but this one looks particularly strong with some of the big names back.
Well, you said it during the week that they've used 31 players, West, this season.
There's Green attempting the 40-20 there. Tom Simpson doing well to get back to it. He wanted to get a roll on it. And that had to have been on the tip sheet, you imagine, Johnny, and Tommy Simpson awake to it there. Yeah,
very well there from Tom Simpson. He'll have pressure on him all day down that end. We know that he's got that odd mistake in his game, and look, if we know it, every other coach in the league does.
Although that was a good carry there. It was right in behind him in the in goal, and he pinched that 15 metres. So well done to Tommy Simpson on that side early on. Still, regardless of not grabbing that 40-20, it's a big kick from Zach Green. He's got an absolute sledgehammer in that right boot. It just flies off it. Laurie there looking to put some pressure on with his defence. Dodge plays it and he just grabs at that knee, which is not a good sign at all if you're Coach Jared Costello. He's already hobbling on it, Luke Dodge. It's heavily strapped. I think he's in some strife over on that side.
He is.
Fletcher Long ball there for Dargan. Dargan off the left boot. Going to kick it back centre field. Not a bad one in the end. Tony Pello coming across in cover. Can't grab it. It'll be Barbudo bringing it back. And he skips to the outside. He's looking to take Crosland on. And Gallagher coming in. Plenty of physicality there from the Gladiator.
The Gladiator's been a bit aggressive so
he
far
is,
in the
isn't he?
game.
He's throwing himself. You know what's what you like to see? Do you reckon he got the instructions, unleash hell?
Yeah, well, he's got a match-up out here on Tamari.
He
it's
does,
going to be one
doesn't he?
to watch.
Indeed it is.
I don't know which way I'd go.
Mate, you can leave me right out of it is what you can do. As Stanford now dumped on his back. Gallagher and Ruskin doing the defensive work there. Rodriguez at first receiver. Laurie, and he's got put on the seat of his pants there, Ryan Fletcher, but you like to see that from a half. He's seen big Dylan Laurie there and tried to shorten him up. Comes off second best, but you do like to see that. And that's him again, I think. In fact, I think it might have been Johnson in cover making that tackle. But really digging the shoulders in early on the Butchers. As that kick goes high, I think Blake might have been in front and he gets called out that way. And Blake Higgins takes that well. We've talked, Johnny, often about how much more comfortable he's looking in the number one each week as it passes.
He's looking very well there, isn't he, at the one? As we talked about during the week, Mitch, that spine for the Butchers, it's getting better each week. It's a bit of a makeshift spine, isn't it? You've got a couple of people there that are playing out of their regular position.
As we see a good little run here from Tatau, although he's dumped on his back there by Hanbury. So that takes the sting out of it. Right in front of the old boys bar here. It's what you like to do. Gallagher making his presence felt with the footy now. That's a good carry. He's up to the 40. And they go short side. Ruskin steaming onto that one. And that's another good hit there from Hanbury. Dropped out the back. I think it went backwards. Play on the call. Johnson off his right foot. Johnson, he's into the backfield. He's got support in Walsh. Walsh on the toe. Crosland giving chase. It's set up for him. What a try that is.
What a try there.
Absolutely brilliant footy there from the Butchers. It was that man we always talk about, Joel Johnson. Goes off his right foot into the backfield and Jake Walsh in support. Drops it on the toe, and that just sat up beautifully there for Crosland. Great awareness from the winger to be trailing where he was. He doesn't get that try if he's not there. I think Walsh has got up just nursing a bit of a knock as well, but Jared Costello will be hoping he's okay, but what a four-pointer, Johnny.
Yeah, unreal four-pointer there from the Butchers. They've been starved of a bit of football in the opening 11 minutes of this half there, but it was the man, the skipper. He missed round one battle with these two earlier on in the year. He was sorely missed there, but this game here, he's just opened it up, hasn't he? Does what he does best. Just looks around the middle of the paddock, slices through them, and Walsh, as all good halfbacks do, trailing through there, took a good hit there for his troubles there and put it on the boot, but Crosland, the awareness to keep up with the play of the ball, that's what good wingers do, and Hayden Crosland gets his first pointer of the day.
He just seems to have a sense for it, doesn't he, Crozzo? He's not the fastest winger out there at all, but
not the biggest or the tallest.
Not the biggest, but he just seems to have an in-game awareness of where he needs to pop up. And we saw that there. And now, Johnny, it's one of those things with hindsight. The decision to take the 2 points early. They just about their first set with the footy there, the Butchers, or their second set with the footy. Haven't had much of it in this first 12 minutes, but they're going to look up and hopefully Gallagher can knock this over, see themselves 6-2 up. At risk of putting the mock on him. It's a bit tougher than I've given him credit for here, actually.
It is wide.
This is very much in the breeze, this kick. But he's just looked great off the tee this year, Gallagher, and that just bends back beautifully.
He's got that Jonathan Thurston curl about it, doesn't he?
Off the left boot. I'll tell you what, since there was a couple of weeks ago, he had that one from the sideline to try to snatch a draw against Collegians. That was waved away. I think since then, I've barely seen him miss one. I don't know if he's down there at Gibbo just putting in the extra miles, because Jake Walsh, that man we just spoke about, had a key hand in that try. He's fairly handy off the tee as well. So,
well, Walsh got the duties there for a few weeks earlier on in the season.
Do you reckon you got the right foot and left foot? Does Lukey Gal take all the kicks from this side and Walshy from the other?
I think you'd rather give it to Gal. It just takes that pressure off Walshy just to allow what he does, get his mind back focused onto the game.
Mate, mind you, the way Gallagher, as I said, has been kicking the last month or so, you wouldn't take it off him for anybody in the league.
How good Sirenham been on this right edge from when they got the ball?
Hook and riding. I was actually called him Joel Ruskin before. He'll be filthy on that, the statue.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say, geez, he's looking trim.
Same haircut, different rigs.
So we see Dodge now over on that edge. Fletcher on the short side, some numbers. Now Dargan steamy onto that one. And it took him a little while to get the footy, Johnny, but geez, finding their groove quickly once they have. Walsh, he's going to put the kick in behind, a clever one, although Pello awake to it. And Pello off his left foot. He can turn defence into attack very quickly, Tony Pello. And Morrissey now takes it up to the 20.
It's been played at a very frantic pace so far.
It has. It's looked every bit the top of the table clash as Hanbury off his left foot. The offload as well, Green. He's got some numbers on the outside, although that might have taken a deflection off Tamari. It has. And Johnny, just a bit of a low percentage play, not the type you usually see from the Devils coming out of trouble.
No, we've seen this game turn a little bit here, haven't we? It was all West in that first 10 minutes of the game, but once the Butchers have completed a set of 6, got down there, scored that 4-pointer, it feels like they've got a little bit more steam behind them here. That defensive set there from the Butchers was impressive. They were all up as one unit there, and it forced the error from the Devils.
So the Butchers, they'll start this set. Golden opportunity to put the points on the back of their opening try. It'll be Walsh to feed the scrum. And they'll go short side to Tower, a bit of a trick shot. He gets away from Hanbury on that occasion, but dragged down there by Barbudo. They come back to Walsh towards the post. Sirinen winding up onto that one. Johnson, second man for Whitty. Flat ball there for Dodge. And they were stripped for numbers there, Johnny. That's Mitch Porter making that tackle.
He's a little bit
I'm not sure
lame.
where they'd
He's a bit
gone.
lame here,
If they'd gone out the back, I think some numbers for Thirroul. And now Mitch Porter, he's down on the deck.
I'm not sure if it is Mitch Porter.
I think he's up. I think he's playing first aid.
Yep.
First aid man there. I was about to say, you breathe a sigh of relief. Mitch Porter, such a key man for them. And it looks like it's actually Justin Rodriguez there, speaking of key men.
Just as important.
We breathed a sigh of relief. They've just sucked a big one back in. We spoke about it on Taste of Steel this week. Johnny, that battle between the number 7s, Rodriguez and Walsh, the big determining factor for mine coming into this one.
Yeah, it sure is. It's a battle, isn't it? Both of them. Look, they're the ones that are going to be the key men to get the 2 points at the end of the game for either side.
Whitty, second man there for Walsh. Gallagher, he's tackled dead in front of the post there. Johnson at dummy half. They'll go left again to Fletcher. Fletcher dummies. Dylan Laurie all over him there. You know, Dylan Laurie's not going to give halves on that edge any room to breathe. Johnson, he dummies from close range. He spun around and he slammed that down. So just like that, points on the back of it. And the linesman's coming in. He doesn't like what he's seen. They're going to say knock on.
Well,
there you go. That's a big call. Had a perfect view of it. We couldn't quite see from here, Johnny. It was the spin and the turn. The touchy was right on top of it. And to be frank, Johnny, not seeing a whole lot of blow up there from Joel Johnson, so we might have to assume they got that one right. You can imagine he'd be protesting vociferously, if I can use a big word.
yeah, he would be. Look, John,
he thought he got that down.
John did get that one down. He thought it would have. He thought it got down there. Would have seen a bit more of a blowout there, but big call from the ref.
Maybe he does, mate. He's got a bit of that Cameron Smith touch about him. He never really sends to blow up at the officials, but forges a good relationship with them. As that's Rankmore. He's dropped that straight into Walsh, and so again another mistake coming out of trouble. And Tatower and Rankmore not quite agreeing on something there.
It's nearly the same place in the paddock. They did it last time with that first mistake.
And they do like to have a bit of variety in their play coming out of trouble, but a couple of times there just getting a little bit too fancy. And Rankmore there, he's under a bit of pressure. That was a tough one to take. The front rower just steaming on the footy. He got that right as he was going to be hit there by Walsh. And so again, another set starting for the Butchers. Almost the same blade of grass as the previous set started. Fletcher onto Higgins, and they go to Dargan, and Dargan skips to the outside of Porter. Porter doing a good job there to bring him down. Rodriguez finishing it off, perhaps lucky not to be pinged, but play on is the call. Ruskin takes it up to the 20. Johnson, second man for Walsh. Gallagher coming underneath and steaming onto it. Johnson a dummy half again. They go left. Ruskin Met well there by Zach Blay. He's a metre out, Ruskin. Plays it to Johnson. Fletcher off his left. And Tony Pello, the fullback, he's done very well there. I think he's tried for the one-on-one strip, and they'll call that a knock-on, would be my view of it.
This is going to be a knock-on to West, it looks like.
I think it was a knock-on against West, Johnny. Tony Pello attempting the one-on-one strip, and the ball comes out.
Yes, that's the Thirroul feed.
Be at the Thirroul feed. So just like that, we're seeing the momentum swing dramatically to the Butchers. Tony Pello was a good defensive effort from the fullback, defending up in the line, had to make the tackle, and he very, very nearly came up with what would have been a huge play with the strip, but it hits the deck. Scrum feed to Thirroul, the result. Fletcher will feed. Walsh at first receiver, on to Higgins. Higgins skipping towards the right. He skips to the outside again. Now it's Crosland coming back inside. Good defence this side from Hurst and Barbudo communicating well. To Tower now, onto Walsh. Gallagher. He's 10 metres out, just to the right of the right upright. Johnson. Whitty, second man for Fletcher. And that's great defence there. Declan Morrissey coming in. Had to be made that. He comes up and in and shuts that one down. Higgins forced to play it. Ruskin now just a bit slow onto that one. And now that ball's come out. We're going to see a penalty as well.
Do you see the 2 points?
I don't see the 2 points.
No, I'd be pressing on if I was
No, they're going to take the 2. So both coaches perhaps wary of the respect.
Well, it puts them a converted try in front. But
it does put the converted try in front, Jay. That was the fourth set in a row. So that's a tough call to make. That's a 50-50 one. But we just saw it at the other end. Johnny West right on top. They took the 2. Try against the run of play, and they've been under the pump since. And you do wonder the temptation had to be there to have continued to put the pressure on. I thought you always want to do, Johnny, what the opposition don't want you to do, and I think the Devils behind that try line there, they breathed a huge sigh of relief when the 2 points went up. Massive.
Both these sides haven't really looked to go for the 2 points, have they, this season, when they've been gifted opportunities down in the opposition's area where the potential 2 points are on offer. Both teams have really chanced and backed their own ability for the try. It just goes to show how crucial these 2 points from both coaches tend to feel.
He knocks that over. Yeah, I think it says a lot about what's at stake in this game, Johnny. Both sides playing this. We've called it a finals dress rehearsal, and both coaches playing it like it is a finals game. So 8-2 the score, 20 minutes gone. But having taken the option to take the 2, Johnny, this is very much a must-complete set.
Oh, yeah,
sure is. Butchers.
How often have we seen it that they just do not complete their set after points?
As Green gets us underway, that's gone very high. Higgins go back in. Oh, there you go. Well, it was right as we said, Johnny. Damien Siren and the statue, that's a tough one for a front rower to take in his own in goal. I think he just got a bit mixed up there with Higgins. You'd be tempted, you'd think, Johnny, to let the fullback take hold of that one. And just as we said, Johnny,
I just heard Jared Costello swearing from the Thirroul bench after that.
The pressure right back on the Butchers. It's the risk you run when you do take the 2 points. Zach Green, that went a mile high.
He's got that Kyle Felt sort of kick, doesn't he?
It looked difficult off the boot. It might have looked pretty cut and dried for you on your screens, but that was a tough take, particularly for your front rower. And now it's Blay putting his side back on the attack. Rodriguez short side for Porter. He'll play it 20 in from touch. Stanford, second man for Hanbury. Flat ball there for Tamari, met well there by Gallagher. Tamari, slower play the ball than he was looking for. Green. Rankmore off his right foot, bumping hard there into Johnson. And almost past the horizontal, but play on the kill. Rodriguez, second man for Pello, dangerous from here. That's a great tackle though from Fletcher. Low and around the legs. Porter though, he's seen the markers a bit slow. Puts that kick in, and isn't that a beautiful piece of awareness there from Mitch Porter, Johnny? Pello looking dangerous on that side. He was chopped down beautifully by Fletcher on that side, but he was a bit of a dead end at marker. Mitch Porter senses it, perfectly weighted kick and keeps the pressure right on.
It was a try-saving tackle there from Fletcher on Pello there. If he got free, he had numbers to his right there. But the awareness from Mitch Porter there, just to put it into the in goal and look for that repeat set and just apply the pressure back onto the Butchers. It's a very exciting game so far, Mitch, this one.
Do you almost call any tackle on Tony Pello a try-saving tackle? You just about do,
you can
don't
go that way, can't you?
Hanbury now fielding this one. Rankmore, what a stint he's had early on, Kieran Rankmore.
Him and Zach Blay have been huge, haven't they, for the Devils?
Indeed, and they've had to do a lot of work without the footy in the last 5 minutes or so. They're so good at absorbing pressure, though, the Devils. It's what they make an art form of. Wade Stanford to play it. Hanbury, second man for Rodriguez. Rodriguez off his right foot. Hammered over the top there by Sirinen. Jared Whitty also making the tackle. He's in strife again, Justin Rodriguez. So he's in the wars, hobbling on that right foot back into position. Green at dummy half. They'll come left to Hanbury. Hanbury, and that pass goes to no one. And Reece Hanbury there just putting his hand up saying that one's on him as Hurst, the offload there for Laurie, and I think he might have dropped that into the defender there. He has. That was looking promising there, Johnny, but Wayne Dargan coming outside in and making a tackle had to be made there.
Tell you what, there's a couple of boys out there limping around at the moment. Just the intensity and the pace and the hardness of this first 20 minutes of this first half there. From both sides, you just look across the paddock and they're taking hits and they're coming out of the tackles and they're limping around looking for the trainer. I tell you what, they're going to be some sore bodies at the end of 80 minutes today.
Mate, looking there at Lachlan Hurst, you've got to think he's relishing the opportunity to be there in the three. He's far better than a winger in this league. Played a lot of fullback, but has spent a lot of time on the wing with the likes of Pello at fullback and Colby Pello, who's nursing that broken arm at present, in the centres alongside Mitch Porter. So he's had to play a role elsewhere, but you've got to think he's going to be enjoying having the number 3 on his back. As Tatawa now, bit of feature of Tatawa's game the last couple of weeks, Johnny, getting there and doing the hard stuff out of his own end. Johnson now as well, spotting the markers, perhaps not square. He might have been right, but play on the call. Now Tatawa getting in there again. We just gave him a rap for that, Johnny. He's really throwing himself into it.
Well, 2 tackles, they've made 30 metres there. Two runs from Tatawa and 1 from Johnson.
That's a neat little kick in there from Walsh, sitting up for Pello, and he takes that well, and he'll look to counter from here. And again, we'll call that the try-saver from Jake Walsh there. So now Morrissey comes back in field.
Couple of changes for the Devils. Rankmore off the field and Joseph Dixon getting his first taste of rugby league today.
You have to think, or give a rap to both sides, Johnny. That's been an intense first 25 minutes and only just going to the interchange now.
Yeah, Noble on and Ruskin off for the Butchers.
Yeah, that's a big plus for both sides there. You've got to give them a huge rap, the men in the middle. That was a tough opening shift they've put in there. And now Higgins, I think that's taken a deflection off the torso. The old boys bar disagrees wholeheartedly, but lucky they don't have the whistle.
No, you can hear the echoing through Parish Park there, couldn't you, from the old boys underneath us?
It's Simpson. That's a good carry from the winger.
That's 2 good ones
up
he's
over
done.
the 20. And as he cried out in pain there, we've seen the referee pull things up straight away.
This could be a knee by the looks of it.
Another player in the wars, Simpson. You just get twisted awkwardly. I'm seeing now Zach Blay coming out of that one just hobbling a little bit. So the boys, they're right in the wars early on in this one. It looks like he's
ankle
clutching at an ankle there. Tom Simpson. We talk about how strong he is breaking out the other side of tackles. It always makes you a little bit susceptible to those knee and ankle injuries.
Yeah. He's had such a good season, Tom Simpson. It's been his standout season so far over the last few years, watching him develop, playing that reserve grade, bits of first grade, but this year he's been so good for the Butchers. Just those carries back to start those set of sixes on a good note for the Butchers. He's been one of those players. He's probably, in my mind, Thirroul's probably most improved player.
Oh, certainly. We've looked and watched him play over the last couple of seasons. He just quite hasn't found a home. He's been a bit in the back row, a bit in the centres, but found a home on the wing, and he's up and he's all right. So that's good to see. Time back on. In fact, Ruskin's still out there.
Yeah, Jared Whitty went off for,
there you go.
For Noble.
So the big men. It is that man Ruskin putting the stint in. That's a great shot from Dylan Laurie. Up off his line and shortened him right up there. And we just talked about he might needing a spell. There looked like there was just a little bit of juice lacking in that one from Ruskin. Dylan Laurie makes him pay. Walsh. That's a wobbly one back towards centre field. Tony Pello in beautiful position to take it, and he does. And he'll look to counter from there. You just see the eyes light up, don't you, Johnny? Every time he fields the kick, he's not just bringing the ball back, he's looking for the gap, he's looking for that tired, lazy chaser. Always looking to cut the side open from anywhere on the park as Barbudo plays that one on the 40.
He's got a sensational highlight reel, Tony Pello, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely. And Zach Blay now on halfway. And we're just seeing it now, Johnny. Weight of possession went all to the Devils early on, then all to the Butchers. We're starting to see it just even out now, and we're getting into that set-for-set type battle that we expected. 8-2 the score, 13 minutes to go until half-time.
Tell you what, I think we're seeing a lot of tired players now. These last 13 minutes, I think we might see the middle of the field start opening up. The likes of Johnson and also Green take advantage of that.
And Hambury goes off his left foot and he ends up putting that one straight down Higgins' throat. That's good pressure. Good kick pressure. Now Dylan Laurie again.
What's Tommy Simpson thinking? There's no one in the field. Why would you go straight at Dylan Laurie?
I don't know if he was that keen to run into Nathan Leotigaga either. He's just come onto the park.
Fair call.
And just watch him have an impact.
Yeah.
Leotigaga, he was the man of the match in last year's grand final. Probably, I think, their best forward last year. Most consistent performer at least. And coming off the bench this afternoon can really look to give his side a lift.
Not a bad interchange here from the Butchers. Ruskin off and Mick Henderson on the field.
Speaking of giving a lift from the bench, it's what Hendo will be looking to do. Injected into the action. Sirenin the offload to Tower. Fletcher, long ball for Dargan, well handled. Now Simpson's away over on that edge. Zach Green coming across in cover, makes a beautiful tackle, and he's put him into touch as well.
Great tackle there, Zach Green, wasn't it?
Yes, that was
Perfect.
Sattler-esque on that side.
How good's the interchanges? One coach puts an interchange on, the next one goes, I think I can do one better.
Yeah, here we are there. I don't know if they're shadowing each other or not. Good work there, though, on that side. It came off the offload from Sirenin. And we've got certainly some good forwards in both packs, Johnny, but not necessarily a whole bunch of guys that have the offload in them. Sirenin's probably a bit unique in that regard. Brings a certain point of difference. Although that man, Michael Henderson, just come on the park,
He's got one.
Doesn't mind one in him either. Rodriguez now on to Morrissey. Green at dummy half. And things just slowing down slightly as both sides sucking in the big ones. Gallagher again with some big contact. He's got to be in his bonnet this afternoon. Gallagher as Stanford now at first receiver. Takes it into the thick of the Butchers' defence. He's 5 metres over halfway. They go to Rodriguez. Straight on to Dixon. And that's Porter. Rodriguez now on to Dixon. Plays it to Green. They go short side for Rodriguez. He's going to put the ball high. Bit into no man's land. Looks like Michael Henderson was there going to take it. It's come off the boot there of Pello. They're calling knock on, but no whistle forthcoming from Ryan Jackson. Fletcher takes away that one. Didn't Hendo sell a good dummy there, Johnny? He was moving in position to take it, and then he just let it bounce.
He thought he had the one on his back there for a second.
He has got a one on his back. It's just got a 5 next to it. There's Johnson now at dummy half. Hendo might have just remembered that fact right at the end there. He gets out of the way of that one, and the result bounces their way.
I'm not the captain coach anymore. I can't do what I want.
Sirenin now been on the right edge, and he had the arm free and just sleeping on that play there a little bit. The Butchers. Walsh. And he's hammered by Laurie as he kicks that one. It didn't look late to me, just a solid shot.
Going to blow the whistle.
It's gone down and a knock on at the back there, Barbudo.
It's only the knock on they're going to blow. They're not going to. I don't think there's going to be a penalty for the shot on Jake Walsh. I think this is just going to be the knock on.
I don't think there should be, Johnny. It was a solid hit, but it was late. He wrapped his arms. He's absolutely levelled the halfback. I can feel for Walsh on that one, but play on for mine, the right call. And I can't see any discussions or change from the referees in that one. Walsh, he's going to get up and get back in the line, so some courage there from the number 7. Laurie didn't miss him, but we are just seeing time off. Might just be for Walsh to get back in the line.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Laurie get called out too Referee Ryan Jackson. I think it's just time off there to allow Walsh to get to his feet and get to the base of the scrum to feed this scrum.
And he's going to come back and feed the scrum. And in watching that in back play in the shot, did notice it was a tough kick to take there. So you've got to give Walshy some credit there. He saw Illawarra coming, knew he was going to cop the whack, but he gets a good kick away, and Barbudo on this side failing to handle. And the Butchers with another opportunity to start a set in the Devil's end as Dargan goes off his left foot. We've just seen Zach Green come from the park too. John Martin injected into the action. And Noble, his first carry of the afternoon, he takes it up towards the 10. Just gets tangled up with Laurie there, slow up play the ball as he would have liked. Sirinen now close to the line, Sirinen. And that's a great defensive effort there from Tamari. The statue looks certain to go over there, but Tamari just dumps him on his back. No easy feat. Gallagher now back towards the black dot. Johnson, second man for Sirinen again, and as that man again, Tamari meeting him. That looked like an audible in the NFL, Johnny. The change of alignment, and they go with the trick shot, and that's another great defensive on that edge.
That's Mitch Porter there coming up on Ryan Fletcher.
Haven't they got it right on that edge?
Absolutely.
They've been tested on that edge a lot, the Devils, but they'll be coming up and in. Seen Porter and Morrissey on that side make some brilliant tackles, and that was the last tackle as well. That's a huge play from the skipper.
Neither Morrissey or Porter have made a bad defensive decision out there yet.
And mind you, if they had, the scoreline looks very different. They've gone that way a lot, the Butchers. And Hanbury now playing a front rower's role there, Hanbury. Met there by Henderson. Hurst away from dummy half. Johnson making that tackle with Henderson. Pello into dummy half, and that's a kick from inside the 40. He'll be looking for the 40-20. And it's got there as well. That's brilliant kick there from Tony Pello. That's a brilliant play. He was so aware of where that line was. And it had to be inch perfect, Johnny, because Higgins and Tommy Simpson were all over that. They'd read it well, but it was a case of well-read, good defence, better attack.
What about the vision from Tony Pello, the awareness to know where he was on the field and where Higgins and also Simpson were situated on that field? And look at this, they're 10 out now, Mitch, 6 up their sleeve.
Don't know how aware they were. Zach Green, so dangerous from dummy half in the 40-20. Perhaps with him off the park, they just relaxed there slightly. And don't know if Tony Pello sensed that, but he came up with the play. Now it's Hanbury, right into the line. Hanbury's very close. Tackle had to be made there by Henderson. He's a dead ant in the play. The ball, Pello, he was looking for a penalty and he's done well and got it there, Pello. He just paused near the footy. Just paused near the footy long enough there for a slower play the ball.
You wouldn't think they're going to take the 2 this time.
Yeah, I can't imagine they'll go for the 2.
They've got to press on.
Mate, the way it's played out for both sides, I don't think we'll see either coach take the 2 for the rest of the game. All it's ever done is put the pressure on their respective sides. Martin at dummy half. Sirinen unlucky, or rather fortunate not to be penalised there, as Pello now off his right foot. Fletcher again making the low tackle, had to be made. Johnson finishing that one off. Leah Tinganga, that goose step we like to see as he really turns the afterburners on into the line. Martin now. Hanbury with some depth. Flat ball there for Laurie and a good low tackle there from Gallagher. Martin on the toe nicely, and Gallagher. Well, there's back-to-back good plays there from Gallagher, Johnny. Johnny Martin there looking to thread that one into the in-goal. And Gallagher, he's got most things right this afternoon defensively on that edge. He was in beautiful position there.
Well, he deserves the name the Gladiator today so far, doesn't he? Been great on this right-hand edge there. But Martin, that kick, it needs to be that little bit better there. They kept applying pressure to the Butchers' line, but they just couldn't crack it.
And the Butchers, they're doing well out of their own end here too. They were under a bit of pressure. Defensively, they're fanned out in their positions fairly quickly. Henderson made a couple of big tackles on the line there himself, Henderson. Dragged down there by Leah Tinganga. And now in behind the line, Walsh. He's just going to heave this one deep. Barbudo takes this one on the chest. Goes off his left. Tackled well there by Thirroul and Gallagher.
So the kicking game for the Devils has been better than what the Butchers' kicking game has been on the last tackle, hasn't it, Mitch?
Indeed, it has been attacking on the last play of the set, have the Devils. Did notice there, just a little bit slow getting back on side, the Devils. Both sides, though, 4 minutes to go before half-time. They have to be both feeling the pinch as Dixon now takes it up towards halfway. Plays it to Martin, short side. Rodriguez, flat ball there for Porter. And J-Rod, he's just been smacked in the back play there by Siren. And now it's the danger man, Pello. He's nearly gone into the backfield there. Gallagher again just grabs hold of the jersey. And this one's a high one. It's a tester for Higgins. And he's done beautifully well there, Higgins. And they're going to say play on. And he's got into the field of play as it is.
Great work.
Brilliant work there from Higgins. He had no right to get in the field of play there. 3 defenders on him.
What about the work from Crosland just to give him the assistance and push him over?
I thought it was
fortunate,
play, Johnny. I thought he'd taken that ball in the in-goal. So, surprised not to see it called a 20-metre restart, but he gets back into the field of play. Tommy Simpson trying to milk a penalty there, and he does well in the end, giving Dylan Laurie a bit of what for as well.
Well, he's not short of confidence, is he, Tommy Simpson?
We love that, don't you?
We love it.
Gives him a bit of curry and then heads back out onto the flank. That's probably how I'd go about the approach
exactly.
as well.
Exactly. Luke Dodge off for the Butchers and Cooper Purcell on the field. It looks like the Gladiator over there getting a couple of running repairs to his melon.
He hasn't cared much for the melon this afternoon the way he's thrown in. But as we're seeing both sides show some signs of fatigue, we're seeing the danger man, Tony Pello, looking so dangerous. It was literally a coat of paint on the number on the jumper that Gallagher got there as he looked to slip into the backfield. But it was enough. That was a good shot there from Leotingunga as well. Noble, second man for Fletcher. Some numbers on that side. Sirinen, who switched from the middle of the park to the left edge. Johnny, and now Henderson playing the halfback role. Open side to blind side, finds Dargan. He's dragged down there by Porter and Dixon. Fletcher, Sirinen flat ball there. That's Cooper Purcell. Now Johnson. Johnson flat ball there for Henderson. Henderson with a sniff of the try line. He's pulled up just short. Good tackle by Dixon. Johnson from dummy half.
Oh, he's got there.
He's got there as well. And with just 2 minutes to go before half-time, Johnny, that's a huge play from the skipper. And a disappointing one for the Devils to concede. You know, on the tip sheet, how dangerous he is from dummy half. He's always going to back himself to get there. He proved probably down to the carry of Henderson beforehand. He really sucked some defenders in and got a quick play ball on the back of it. They were good enough to deny him, but on the next ruck, Joel Johnson grabbing his opportunity.
Well, he got denied one earlier on, darting close to the line there. The touchy pulling him up there, found a little bit of knock on. Not that time, but the skipper crosses over. 1.5 to go before half time. Very important try for the Butchers, but the Red Devils, they'll be filthy on that one. As you touched on, Mitch, every coach, every player in this league knows Joel Johnson and how good he is close to the line.
And Jared Costello, he's got to be thrilled, Johnny, with where the game's poised. How many times do you see a side hold the Devils tryless in a half a footy? It happens very, very rarely. And you could give that try, put it down to their defence, Johnny, at this end. They had a bit of pressure to absorb, and they did well, and they go back and they counter-punch. And we've spoken so often, Johnny, about the Butchers having not put together that full 80. Well, you've got to say, as we close in on half-time, they've put in the full first 40 in this one. Gallagher moves in.
Got it.
And that's a big one in the context of the game, Johnny. 14-2 the score. I doubt we'll see a restart here. And with how close these two sides have been in all of their previous outings, Johnny, a 12-point margin. It's a huge one in the context of the game.
Yeah, massive one. Absolute. None of the Butchers, as you touched on, Mitch, we haven't seen them put together such a polished first half performance like that throughout the season. But knowing this Western Suburbs side, I tell you what, we see this kick-off here as a Hooters about to
We haven't seen a restart. The tower, he was shaping the chip kick there. You think Jared Costello's heart skipped a beat on that one. As we see 4, 3, 2, 1 left on the clock. That will be half-time. Although Johnson, he's got away with one there, Walsh. Goes the long ball there for Dargan, and he's just going to put that down. That'll be all she wrote for these first 40 minutes. A thrilling one it was, but the Butchers right on top as we go to the Sheds. 14-2 the score. Have to think there's still plenty to be written in this one. We'll be back with the second 40 minutes in just a little while. Welcome back to Parish Park. The hosts, West Devils, heading there, way back onto the playing pitch. The kids, they'll clear half-time. Great to see. I love we see that, Johnny, every time here at Parish Park. The kids, they're onto the field and having a run around at half-time. Good to see. And just before we get things underway, we can update you on some scores, which all matter very much down the stretch, Johnny, as we've touched on a lot over the last month. Collegians up 12-6 over Corrimal. I think Johnny's surprised to see Corrimal putting in the effort. I thought, like I said, the tank had run empty for them, but obviously it's their last outing of the year. They want to end on a positive note, and with the sniffer within reach of an upset there at half-time. And the other one that we were watching very closely, Helensburgh, thinking they were a bit vulnerable in this one to Berkeley, but they've gone into half-time 28-4 up. So they finished that second 40 that we called last week, Johnny, very, very strongly. And Gav Lennon spoke to him afterwards. He said, we just got to make sure we take that to Berkeley. And they've certainly done that. 28-4 the score there at that one.
I hope for the Tigers that they can put a good second half in, because we've talked about it so often about how inconsistent they are with 80 minutes of rugby league. If they can put that 80 minutes of football together today, it sounds like they've put a good 40 in. They can nearly secure a fourth spot there, Mitch.
And I'll tell you what, Johnny, another interesting score. You're watching this one in the women's competition. Corrimal 32 over the Tiger Lilies 18. So Tiger Lilies yet to drop a match this year. They always thought Corrimal would be the tester for them, and they're getting that this afternoon. In fact, that's not the half-time score, Johnny. That's the result. Corrimal 32 defeating the Tiger Lilies 18. So that competition well and truly alive as well. So we come back to Parish Park. Noble taking it up towards the 30. Johnson at dummy half, Sirinen. And he's bumped away there. And, well, we were wrapping them when we weren't live here, Johnny, at half-time for their completions, the Butchers. How disciplined they've been with the footy, but they cough it up in their very first set of this second half.
Not the start that Jack Costello would have wanted for him then. We gave him a huge rap about that huge effort they did in the first 40 minutes. Their completion rate was sky high. We've talked about them not putting two halves together.
Pello now onto the ball with some speed. Pello now. Back on the inside. Dargan reels him in. Rodriguez short side. Porter crabbing his way back infield. Dummies twice. He's back there dead in front of the post. Martin now onto Pello. Out the back there for Hanbury. He has to reach backwards for it. Off his left foot, Hanbury lobs the offload back infield. Leah Tingaga, well, he's going to tuck the ball under. There were some numbers on the outside there, Leah Tingaga, but he just lost his feet slightly as Pello again. Long ball for Pello for Porter. Porter has some space. It was a good low tackle there from Dargan. And that's Morrissey dragged down there by Simpson. A try saver there from Dargan had to be made. Now it's Pello. He's kicked it across towards the field, and Crosland, he ultimately laps that one up easily. So they dodge a bullet there, Johnny, but geez, the Devils have come out looking dangerous. Tony Pello handling 5 and 6 times in that set. He really wants to get his side back into this one.
Tell you what, the more that he gets the ball on his hands, we could see a better performance there from the Devils. He's just so exciting when he's got his hands on the ball. He must just be a nightmare for defence. They don't know which way he's going. He's got speed to burn. He's got so much skill. But they're let off the hook there, the Butchers.
Well, Wayne Dargan made 2 key tackles there. Both of them probably saved tries as per. Oh, that's another good shot from Dylan Laurie. He's really shortening them up this afternoon, Dylan Laurie. Hasn't had a lot of footy, but doing his best work without it this afternoon. And they've certainly come out with some intensity, the Devils. And they're kicking Crosland, giving chase. They're looking to put this one in behind Barbudo. He's chasing hard, Crosland. And he makes the tackle. That's a great kick there from Walsh. They didn't get to the end of their first set, Johnny, but that's a near perfect one in response.
Sure was there, but the body language from the Butchers after the kick, a lot of them just stood back and watched that kick. They didn't continue with the chase. They're only just back in the defensive line now.
And now it's Laurie. Gets away from the tackle of Dargan. In fact, he doesn't. Dargan finishes it off underneath. Damien Sirinen over the top. Sirinen makes that tackle as well on Porter. Martin at dummy half onto Stanford. Stanford for Leah Tingaga on the inside. Hard yards out of his own end. That's the last tackle. It's going to be a kick from deep here. Rodriguez Comes onto that one on the run. He sends this one down, but Higgins will come forward to take this one. He does, and he finds Simpson with the head of steam as well. Rodriguez making the tackle.
See, he veered away from Laurie that time.
Well, it's a beautiful field position to start this set for the Butchers. They amped up their work defensively there, and Rodriguez had to kick from his own 30. The Butchers now just 2 tackles into the set on halfway. Henderson and the offload out the back. We spoke about his ability to offload. Purcell, he comes onto that one. Tackled there by Martin and Dixon. Walsh back on the inside to Higgins. He's tackled there by Dixon. Johnson onto Fletcher. The little chip for Fletcher. He wants the bounce, and Mitch Porter ever aware there. That's good awareness from the skipper, Johnny. It was a good kick from Fletcher. He was looking for the bounce for himself, but very rare that you'll catch the Devils skipper out of position.
Yeah, you'll never catch Mitch Porter napping there, but they'll want a big defensive set here, the Butchers. Try and do what they did last time and ensure that that kick on the last from the Devils is well inside their own territory. But here we go.
Pello, straight into the clear, and he's pulled up lame.
Has he done a hammy?
I think he's pulled up lame there. He's done something straight away. Well, that is not good at all.
The sniper got him there, didn't he?
Absolutely got him, Pello. I thought he was away, and in those instances, Pello, he's gone straight down, and you've got to think it's got to be hammy or something of that like, Johnny, because he dummied and he burst into the clear. I thought it was going to be him and Higgins at the back here, man on man, but he pulled up lame straight away.
It was going to be a good foot race once he got through, wasn't it, between him and Higgins?
Mate, I was going to back Tony Pello in with all that space to work. He was going to be very hard to stop, but he's gone down off.
Let's just see the degree of this injury, because this could be massive, not just for the concept of this game, but for the rest of the season for the Devils, pending how bad this is.
Well, it looks very much like it's a hamstring the way he's straightening up there. And he's really not stretching out on it at all, so might have been the old sniper trick that's reeled him in.
What happens here? Does Zach Green come on and go to fullback, or does
I think Lachlan Hurst will be the man. It looks like he's already slotting back in there into the number 1 spot. We spoke about his adeptness in either the centres or at fullback, Lachlan Hurst. We said he'd like an opportunity. Well, he's going to get a huge one here this afternoon with still 34 minutes left to go in this one, but could be a huge moment, not just in this game, Johnny, as you said, but in the season for the Devils.
Especially with Colby Pello still out as well.
And mate, well, the hamstrings, this is the penultimate round of the season, and we're only a week out from the final, so regardless of how he pulls up, you'd think Tony Pello won't be there next week. And if they lose today and slip to third, they'll have a game in the elimination semi-final the week after that. So plenty to be seen and written in that one. Hamstrings, they can really get in your head too, especially if you're someone who turns the afterburners on like Pello. And now Dixon steamy onto this one. Zach Green has come onto the park, Johnny, so in fact we may actually see him go to fullback as Rodriguez this one backfield, and Blake Higgins comes forward and takes that one well and looking to counter. Poor old Tony Pello, he's barely moved over there on that edge. He's going to take a long walk back around to this side of the park.
I'd be filthy if at the trainer for bringing me off that side.
Yeah, not wrong, Johnny, actually.
He could have come straight directly across to us.
It was the closest sideline, but now he's got the long walk around the park to get there. Someone get the Medicab.
Well, we've got the other trainer going to help him now.
There we go, good on you. Brad Gallagher, Boomtown, he's over there. I think he's dealt with some people a bit dustier than Tony Pello in his time, Boomy, the boxing trainer. And now the offload there from Henderson, overrun by Higgins. Walsh back on the inside for Crosland. Tackled there by Leah Tingaga. And now Walsh, the kick in behind, they're going to test out. It's Hambury at the back. At the moment, that's another option too, Johnny, we hadn't considered. Hambury played plenty of fullback at English Super League level. And they're still on the attack now, Hurst. He's got support on the outside, still going, Hurst. And the boot just gets the throw.
The James Maloney boot throw.
The James Maloney boot throw. I think it was Hayden Crosland, was it?
Might have been the skipper.
Just heaving that away, or maybe it was the skipper. But Hambury to fullback, Zach Green into the halves. Certainly another good option for McLeod. He's not short of them, but I'll tell you what, he'd get rid of all of them if he could have his fullback back on the park, but they're going to have to do it without Pello there. And Hambury, Well, he certainly clocked some metres with the footy, Hanbury, this afternoon. He's been really digging to the line and taking it on. He's going to have to do a lot of that now in this final 32 minutes. Stanford off his left. Stanford in behind. He's got the arm free, but he gets dragged down, perhaps wisely held there. Martin, Green. A lofted kick there looking for Barbudo, and well taken there by Crosland.
He's just Mr. Reliable, Hayden Crosland, isn't he?
He is reliable, and maybe not the result they were looking for, but I think still a good kick there from Green to make the Butchers have to come out from their own end. But they're making good metres here, the Butchers, really with a spring in their step. Fletcher, that's a great carry from the 5'8". And it's a hot knife through butter type stuff at the moment. Now Simpson getting on the back of it as well. They're right up to halfway. And the Devils just doing it tough here in these first 9 minutes of the second half. And now it's Walsh. Put this one high, and he's in behind Morrissey, who was up in the defensive line, and that'll bounce favourably for the Devils and into touch. No, they're going to say it went dead in goal, so a 20-metre restart. So it wasn't a bad kick there from Walsh, Johnny, but the bounce favourable for the Devils, and you think it had to be. They were looking really under the pump there. Morrissey was up in the defensive line. He wasn't going to get caught out by a short side play. It was well placed from Walsh. Martin across Rankmore onto Green. Now it's Tamari. Tamari now plays it to Martin Rankmore.
That's another one with no respect for his body. Kieran Rankmore is there.
Got respect for not for his body or any of his oppositions either. So we see Stanford taking it up towards the Butchers 40. And now Rodriguez on to Dixon. Dixon, nice ball there for Porter. The in and away. He gets around Dargan. Porter, he's got support on the inside in Hanbury. Hanbury going for the try line, and he'll get there. And just like that, they were looking in all sorts of trouble, Johnny. And the skipper, Mitch Porter, you look to your leaders in these situations. And young gun, Joseph Dixon, he goes short side, and Mitch Porter, the in and away there on Dargan. We've spoken week after week at how good Wayne Dargan is defensively, Johnny, but got absolutely burned there by Porter. And Reece Hanbury, like all good fullbacks as he is now, should be doing, backing up on the inside, scoring under the posts, and just like that, game right back on, Johnny.
Yeah, great work there from the skipper. He really stood up Wayne Dargan. It's been a good battle out here on the fringes between those two, Wayne Dargan and also the skipper, Mitch Porter, for West there. But what movement of the feet there from Porter just to get round in there, get to the fullback, and there we go. We see that man, Reece Hanbury, cross over for a 4-pointer they really did need, and he's come around and put it underneath the black dot, so under the black dot, so a gift 2 points here for Zach Green.
I was going to say just before, Johnny, as I look down in our commentary position here, he's actually been a bit hobbled on that knee injury he's been carrying, and I thought he was just sucking in the big ones a bit earlier too. Mitchy Porter, he hasn't played a lot of footy of late. I thought he might be doing it a bit tough. He didn't look like it there, streaked away, but I don't know if that's taken a bit of a toll. He's down here right in front of us now getting some running repairs. That's a skipper's play right there, Johnny, and 14-8 the score. We're back to a 6-point ball game, 29 minutes to go.
That penalty goal, Lukey Gallagher's, means a lot at the moment.
Indeed it does. Don't you get excited now, Johnny? 29 minutes to go in this one. We could see absolutely anything happen here. And Porter, he's actually got that ankle strapped up, so it might be a bit of a fresh kick there. He's got the old strapping on the outside of the boot trick on there. Now Walsh sends this one down. Taken there by Hurst, and Leah Tingago with a head of steam.
What a carry.
That guy running.
On halfway, Martin from dummy half, looking to catch out the markers, not square, as now it's Rankmore straight into Fletcher. You hear the contact there, we could feel that in the box. Martin at dummy half. Short side, Dixon now with some space. He's got Porter on his outside again.
Fletcher, what about that tackle from Fletcher?
I tell you what, if he gives that ball on the outside to Porter, there was some space again. Now Stanford, he'll play it. He'll play it on the 30-metre line. And now Rodriguez, he's hammered by Sirinen as he kicks that one. So not the kick he'd be looking for. Porter, he'll reel it in, and defenders all over him there. Not the kick they would have been looking for, and that's some key inside pressure there, Johnny, from Damien Siren. He just made it a little bit difficult for Rodriguez to get that kick where he wanted it to go.
Yeah, good pressure there from Siren. It looks like the Butchers are playing one man short defensively on this left-hand side. They seem to have the extra number every time they come down to the Devils. That link there between Mitchie Porter and also Joseph Dixon, it's proven to be, it could be, another one where they slice through and have more points put on there.
Well, Dixon's been outstanding. For me, Joseph Dixon's a dead set lay-down misère for Rookie of the Year for mine in this competition, and he's showing some skill with the ball on this side, and he held onto it there, but Porter was into some space again. Dargan and Simpson certainly being asked some tough questions on this edge. Fletcher now on to Ruskin. Goes off the right foot, Ruskin. He'll play it on halfway. Johnson shimmies outside, goes inside to Sirinen. That's tackled underneath there from, I think it was Sirinen underneath there. No, it was Joseph Dixon, in fact. And Johnson's dragged down there by Tamari. And now to be Walsh. He's going to look for a touch and just settle things down. Leah Tingago with the pressure on him as well. Geez, we're seeing some quality footy now, aren't we, Johnny?
We're seeing some good footy. We're also seeing these halfbacks just cop an absolute belting.
Making them pay for their work, aren't
they
they?
sure are, you know.
Walsh has copped that. He already copped one from Dylan Laurie in the first half. We've seen Justin Rodriguez. He copped a hammering from Damien Sirinen for his trouble on the last kick. They're earning their cold tins this afternoon, the men in those key positions.
26 still to go, Mitch. And you were just wondering when fatigue's going to start to set in for either side, because it's just been played at that horrific pace.
Hurst now takes it up just short of the 30. Rodriguez at first receiver. He's got Dixon and Porter on the Dixon into space. He's got Porter in support. And Porter went back inside. I don't know what we talk about him very rarely getting the positional play wrong there, Johnny. I don't know what Mitch Porter was thinking going back on the inside. So play just slows down, but this edge becoming the absolute money edge for them, Johnny. Dixon and Porter on this side with Rodriguez. Really causing them problems as Leah Tingago now, he's going to settle. The Devils with their tails up. Martin now on to Rankmore. Second man for Rodriguez. And they go to Hanbury. Tip on the outside for Porter. Porter off his right foot. He's tackled by Fletcher. He gets away from it. And he's reached the ball out, but I think he spilled it, Mitch Porter. Last ditch effort there. Joel Ruskin, the front row, has come across to make that tackle, Johnny. And the ball in the end goal. And the end result is going to be a set of 6. And it will be as they're starting to make some of their own mistakes now, Johnny. We talked about how faultless they were in that regard. Joel Ruskin came across there in cover to deny Mitch Porter there. That was a huge effort from the front rower. And then on the back of it, a wayward pass from dummy half, and the pressure right back on the Butchers.
They've got to make a change here, the Butchers. They've got to get a fresh man on this left-hand side there. The likes of Aaron Shop, someone like that onto the field. Some fresh legs there just to take a little bit of pressure off this defensive side, because it's really starting to open up for the Devils.
Well, I can see where you're coming from on that, Johnny, but for mine, fatigue shouldn't be a factor when you're playing out on the edge. We've seen the middlemen, the work they've gone through. I don't think fatigue should be a factor on the edge. You'd want them to wisen up out here. Leah Tingago, hasn't he lifted them in the last 5-10 minutes, Johnny? And ever since that injury to Pello, that seems to have absolutely put a shock through the Devils, and they're finding something here. Tamari off his left foot. He'll play it 20 in from touch on that left edge. Stanford, second man for Rodriguez. It's going to be this edge again. Hanbury. He goes off his right foot. Sirinen, mate, he gets the offload away though. Dixon probing. He's held 2 metres out from the line. Martin at dummy half. Rodriguez. Long ball for Green. Another long ball, and Tamari's just put that down. I think the pass was intended to go a man wider there to Hurst. They had the overlap on that side, and now Zach Green gives away a very silly penalty, that one.
Not what they needed to do there, the Devils. They were applying pressure onto the Butchers. They come up with an error through Tamari there, but Zach Green, he didn't need to give that away. It just releases the valve there, doesn't it? The Butchers
it's a huge pressure
they'll
release
kick for touch now, and they'll be up towards halfway with 6 tackles up their sleeve. The Devils had the Butchers on the ropes.
I do think Green was looking for Lachlan Hurst on that edge with that pass, not Tamari. A bit of confusion on who the intended receiver was. But you're right, Johnny, this edge, Dixon, Rodriguez, Porter, they're really causing some headaches for them on this side.
It looks like they've pushed out Damien Siren onto the left fringe here, maybe to tighten up this defensive side.
Well, Johnny, I think he's been playing there the whole half. So I don't think that's a remedy. He's on this left edge, though. So he's on the 40. Jack Noble, who I think started the second half with Joel Roskin up front, as Johnson now from dummy half. And he's tackled well there by Rodriguez, but he gets the offload away to Tower out there against Hurst. Off his right foot now, Green making that tackle. He gets the offload away. So both sides really aiming up, and now Rankmore, he gives away the penalty, certainly within kickable range here for Gallagher. They'll take the two here for sure. Johnny, we've questioned that decision a couple of times this afternoon, but with where the game's poised, 21 minutes to play, just 6 points the margin, taking the two here, an absolute no-brainer.
No-brainer at all here, and the way that Lukey Gallagher's been hitting them today, you'd think this would be a pretty easy one for him. He's about 25 out centre of the paddock.
You're going to have Jared Costello banging on your door. He knows where you live, Johnny. He knows where you live.
Come on, I'll get it over.
He's going to absolutely be kicking your door down. But look, you're going to owe him a few shouts, Johnny, if you can't knock this one over.
If Gallagher knocks this over, it just goes to see that penalty that Zach Green gave away, how much this could come down to the tail end of the game, and how much that penalty means to the concept of at the full-time siren.
It was a silly one, and Johnny, as good as he is, we do know he's got the odd one in him.
Hospitality still sensational.
Always second to none in the media box.
We could play here every week.
Just a delivery of some red frogs as Gallagher now sizing this one up. And he struck it pretty well. And the flags go up.
Thanks, Gal.
So there you go. You can put that shout money back in your pocket, Johnny.
8-point ball game. Still 20 minutes remaining. There's going to be a couple more twists in this game, Mitch, here, but I had that feeling that the Devils were all over the Butchers. They were all
absolutely
over
there.
them, and that they've just released that pressure valve there. They'll be filthy, the Devils, on that.
I've got to say, Johnny, too, you try not to, and you know there's so much to be written in these games, in this rivalry. I did think when Tony Pello hobbled to the sideline, it was
gone.
I thought it was the Devils' hopes there hobbling off with him, but since that happened, they found another gear. It just shows, don't you, Johnny? You're not the reigning premiers for nothing.
No.
You're not the reigning premiers for nothing. And they're showing plenty of ticker to fight their way back into this one. And Rankmore's leveled Jack Noble there.
Absolutely.
And that's probably a silly one as well. So discipline becoming a factor here.
Tell you what, we might see more out of this.
He's come up. It's hard to see where the point of contact was. Noble.
He's absolutely flawed, Noble.
We've seen him Noble. He's copped a few.
Well, last week he only got through about 30 minutes of the game. He went off with a broken nose, had claret pouring out, didn't come back to the game. But Rankmore's just come out and got right up in the grill of Noble.
Looks like he's okay, Noble. It might have just knocked the wind out of him rather than a... It didn't look high to me, Johnny. It just looked a little bit late. But, of course, we're looking on the fly. The ball had gone, so... was following the flight of the ball, but again, that's another piggyback penalty, Johnny. Just as they were getting on top of the Devils, it's a couple of penalties that have...
This will go on report.
Oh, you have to think it will, certainly. Kieran Rankmore, who, me, sir? No!
Oh,
well, that's a huge...
Well, I looked over at Damien Sirenen, and Damien Sirenen was going to Rodriguez, pointing the elbow, saying he led with the elbow.
Well, that is absolutely huge. Well, Johnny, we missed a send-off last week. We're all over this one.
We got this one. We can't...
That's huge. I'm not going to comment on it too hard, though, Johnny. I didn't have the view on it. I don't think we did have the angle of where the shot came from. But a send-off in the context of any game is huge. We can hear Mitch Porter there. He's absolutely disagreeing with the call. It's a massive one. It's a massive one, and in the end he accepts defeat, Mitch Porter, but...
Let's just see what Jacko signs here. So it's a headshot.
So he's saying it was a high tackle. And I'll tell you what, for a send-off, Johnny, it's got to be a bad high shot. It's got to be a really bad one. And so that mountain getting very, very steep now.
When was the last time we seen a send-off, apart from last week in the comp?
Earlier this year, Dill Laurie.
Well,
Dill Laurie against Collegians. There's been a couple. Well, what about the Butchers? They're playing against 12 men again for the second time in as many weeks.
They want to do better this week than what they did last week.
They want to do better this week, and I think they will. Because I don't think they'll be dropping their guard against the Devils here, even though they are down to 12 men. 17 minutes to go in this one to Tower. He almost gets caught up behind Sheridan there, but he stops and goes back the other way. And now we see Luke Dodgers come back on the park. He'll go onto this left edge, Johnny.
See a mistake here.
We see a mistake there. That is releasing some of the pressure. But Luke Dodge on this side now. Johnny, we know how good he is defensively. And perhaps that's the substitution we've seen from Jared Costello just to get some defensive steel in this edge. And Johnny, it's tough. It's always tough to beat a man down. But if you are going to lose a player, you'd probably cop it being one of your front rowers. You've got two other middles out there, and you lose a guy in the middle. It's not like you're losing a key man on your edge defensively or anything like that. So, with only 16 minutes to go, very much an uphill battle
in saying
for
that,
the Devils, but it's not out of it.
Any team in this competition that can win a game with 12, I think we're seeing them right in front of us.
Yeah, we probably are. Yeah, that's right. Hurst. He's a metre in from touch, Hurst. On the 30. Tamari. He takes it up towards the 40, and a second effort there from Johnson. Lucky not to be penalised there. Johnson is now Hurst again, his second carry of the set. That's a good tackle from Whitty. Martin onto Rodriguez. Dixon, and this is the headache edge, and that man Dodge, who we've just seen injected into this action over here to tighten that up, makes that tackle. Martin now, Blay. He's had a big spell, typically plays big minutes, Zach Blay. They'll be looking for plenty from him. I think that's a reaction, Johnny, you would think, to the send-off to get, your workhorse out there in the middle of the park.
Well taken.
Crosland, that's beautifully taken there. You had to deal with the sideline end with Mitch Barbudo in his face on that side. Well done by Crosland. But that substitution, Johnny, as I was touching on Zach Blay, and that's a bad pass there from Tatawa. Dargan, and now Dargan trying to turn it into some attack. But we're seeing there Dill Laurie and Zach Blay in the middle of the park, Johnny. You're getting your worker ants in there to try to take off some of that load in the middle.
They're cramped up behind the rucky, the Butchers, aren't they?
They're bunched in.
They're real on their feet.
You could throw a blanket over them, as you say. They're starting to fan out in their positions now. You got to like the response, Johnny, in that set from the Devils. The likes of Hurst, those back five men getting in there and taking the pressure off. They're going to have to do plenty of that when they've got the footy, when you're down one of your pigs in the middle. And now Walsh, the kick in behind Barbudo. He's lost that. He doesn't know where that's going to end, and it's bounced. And now Crosland knocks that one backwards. And now he's thrown it back in, and the touch flag has gone up. I think it'll be a Devils ball. It'll be a change over. Geez, that was a horror bounce for the winger. He lost the ball and it bounced back over his head. Crosland.
That sun must be brutal over there on that side.
Was giving chase, and no surprises that Walsh is looking over there with his kicking. As Laurie, he almost got put in a dangerous position, but they gently lay him down. In fact, they don't. He'll play it from his feet, having not hit the deck. Dixon. Geez, he's been impressive, Johnny, since coming off the bench.
His right foot step's unbelievable, isn't it?
Playing in the back row here, but I know he's got a bit of a rugby union background as well. I don't know if he plays in the sort of inside centre positions in rugby, because he's got all the attributes. The footwork, the pass.
I pointed it out as probably a weakness for West, being him and the outside backs, but that's where they've won the game.
Indeed, they've come this way a lot of times. Now they're going left through Tamari, Hurst. 13 minutes to go, 16-8 the score. But a try to the Devils would make it very interesting. That's a high one. This is going to be a tough take for Higgins. It's coming down with snow on it, but he takes it well, and he continues his faultless afternoon, Higgins. And now he's on the counter-attack as well. He's right into clear, Higgins.
Oh, he's gone.
You're not going to get him. You're not running him down from there. Barbudo doing his best.
Barbudo's going to get him.
I don't think he is, Johnny. Oh, he has.
And he's
that's incredible. Well, I backed him in. That is the absolute tackle of the season.
That's amazing.
I've gone off. I was already going to the tab to cash in my ticket on Blake Higgins.
Wow, what an effort from Barbudo.
He's come in the straight. That was Chautauqua-like.
Wow.
Well, that is brilliant.
Drop it, this jaw. Yeah.
The ball's gone out the back, and that'll be Devils' ball. Well, that's a huge moment in the game, Johnny. If the Devils can go on, they can overturn this deficit, come on and win this one. You could put it down to that try, Mitch Barbudo.
Yep. If
that was game, set, match.
If the Devils win tonight, Mitch Barbudo should not buy a beer for the whole night at Old Boys Day.
I don't think he should buy one regardless. He's kept them right in that one.
That was the game.
How many times did I write him off? I said, no, we won't get him. He won't get him. You were giving him a sniff, Johnny. I was, like I said, already on the way to the terminal. I was putting my next bet on.
You were doubling up.
I was putting my bet on with me winnings. Makes fools of us all. The punting game is Rodriguez off his right foot. And he goes above the horizontal. That's got to be a penalty regardless, I think. It's one of those tricky ones you normally see, Johnny. If there's no result, if he ends up on his feet, they might get away with it. But he definitely went past horizontal to the ground there, and the penalty, the result. Green.
Good touch finder.
He's hammered that. He hasn't tried to get too much on that, Green.
How good is it when you go to a local game of footy and it's Old Boys Day? The boys underneath us at the bar are getting louder and louder as this game goes on.
They were pretty loud when I got here, Johnny, I've got to tell you. I'm wearing a green jumper. They thought I was a Corrimal fan, and I copped a bit of a pizzling on the way up here. Then I said, no, it's a VB1, boys, and they all cheered. So Tamari will play it. Blay. And Blay, just a bit cute on that pass. It hits the deck. Rodriguez back in field. And I think they're calling for 6 again, the Devils. They won't get it. Martin. Green off his left. That's a good tackle from Whitty. Martin. Flat ball for Laurie. That's a good shot there from Sirinen. He saw Laurie was looking to go in the front door there. Kick it in. He can't do it. Now they go to Rodriguez. Last tackle. Hambry. Out ball for Porter. Porter with the flick. And Morrissey's, I think he's bounced it.
He has.
I think he's bounced it. He's claiming the
It's
try.
a forward pass anyway. Mitch Porter's going to forward pass there to Declan Morrissey.
So the grounding becomes immaterial, but again, this edge.
Every time Mitch Porter gets this ball, he's standing up Wayne Dargan.
He'll be having nightmares about Mitch Porter later on, Wayne Dargan. And as I say, Johnny, you'd rather have Tony Pello out there any day of the week. But with Reece Hambry going to number 1, he's got that genuine ball-playing ability. He's a genuine 6 playing at fullback, and his ability to sum up short sides and create that space for his outside men. It's probably where we've seen it's coincided with the Devils' resurgence in this half. They've been coming on this edge with Hambry sweeping, and it's just causing all sorts of issues. That's a good shot, but he's got away. Dylan Laurie, he's levelled his own man there. Martin has just been smacked. He's back in the middle of the field. Dylan Laurie came through. He was looking for Sirinen, and he's absolutely levelled his own player there.
Tell you what, there are going to be a few of these players out here calling in Ruben Wickies on Monday for work, won't there?
Mate, what about the contact he's put on people today, Dylan Laurie? It's been controlled aggression from Dylan Laurie this afternoon, Johnny. That's what you'd love to see about it. We know he's a guy that...
We've seen him be a loose unit.
The red mist can rise at times, but he's been controlled in his aggression this afternoon, and we spoke about it very early in the season, Johnny, that's what they needed from him. He had to be the leader of this pack and play with that controlled aggression. Well, he's doing that this afternoon.
Pete McLeod's rotated his forwards so well today.
And hasn't that become important now that
so
you don't anticipate a send-off?
No.
But the fact he's done that early on, and they'll be enjoying this too. Rather obviously hoping Johnny Martin is okay, but a spell like this when you're down to 12 men, just to suck some big ones in and get some time. And Pete McLeod here is having a chat with Reece Hambry again.
I bet she's just saying, keep going this right-hand
I
side.
think
Keep going the right-hand side. Don't worry about the left. Keep going the right.
I'll put $100 on the fact he's not saying we need to go left more often.
You'd have to think Stanford would come back onto the field here if Martin's no good.
Well, he's Actually, I thought it looked like a bit of a head knock, but he's hobbling a bit. He might have copped the cork just as Laurie came on. And Wade Stanford, yeah, he's got the interchange card in his hand. He's definitely the man.
We haven't seen the Chief yet, have we?
We haven't, no.
And we haven't seen Aaron Shop for the Butchers. So
some
both
interesting
coaches
ones there.
only using 16 men so far in the game.
I think the way the game's played out, it would be, just a tad. We know how good Daniel Zohar's been for him. He brings that point of difference as a big bopper. But do you think at the moment when you're a man down in the middle of the park, you want a big guy that can be targeted by the likes of Johnson, Walsh? It's not perhaps wiser to get his sort of smaller, more workman-like men in the middle. And just another score update. Well, Johnny, they could just be about buying themselves a finals berth. Helensburgh out there at Berkeley, 42-8 the score as a progress score.
I think I owe them about a keg because I rode them off halfway through the season.
You did, well.
That might have been the kick in the guts they needed.
As we said, Dapto, they went automatically to 12 points and into fourth spot as of kickoff today, but they were 8 points to the poorer in for and against, and well, Helensburgh doing a huge favour on their for and against, and he's been knocked again, Walsh. Again, I didn't think there was too much in it.
He'll get up there.
He's going to have nightmares of the fifth tackle.
Johnny, we've spoken about the pressure both sides have put on kickers, but again, obviously, Kieran Rankmore wasn't on a kicker, it was on another forward. That obvious one aside, the big men on both sides have done a really good job of putting pressure on. They haven't given away stupid penalties, because that is the absolute worst one you can give away. With the ball downfield, you've got possession.
Yep, spot on, absolutely
to have come
spot
back
on.
and hit because you were just a bit too excited to level the halfback can really come back to bite you. And that one again, glad to see the whistle stay in the pocket, because not that I like seeing Welshie cop a knock, but it was just well officiated there.
He's been good, Ryan Jackson, today with the whistle.
He has, of course. There'll be plenty of talk about the send-off, and
Yep.
we'll see what sort of call that turns out to be. But we'll reserve judgment on that one until we get a better look. But Hurst now up to the 20. Rodriguez now. Dixon.
I'll give you how many weeks.
Stanford. Laurie. Laurie takes it over the 30. Green. Hanbury. Hanbury. What a pickup from Green. He's got the sticky stuff, and now he's into the clear, Green. He's got support on the inside in Hurst. Hurst is, well, he's almost pulled up lame in the straight, but he's going to go under and score.
Give that try to Zach Green.
It does a lot more than make it interesting, as they say up here in the box. It's game right back on. Zach Green goes down the short side, and the support of Lachlan Hurst.
West 12 for the kick that comes.
What about the ticker in this one, Johnny? To be down, you lose your fullback, you look dead and buried. You lose a man, he's sent off, you have to go the distance with 12 men. Again looking dead and buried, and they found something again. And you will think it will be a 2-point ball game very, very shortly. And with 7 minutes to go,
He's got a bit of speed on him, Zach Green, doesn't he?
mate, he did, didn't he? I didn't know he
shot-
could burn
no.
people like that. He's gone down, and Lachlan Hurst will hit. I do, as much quick as he was going, Lachlan Hurst was in about third gear as he was beside him, and as soon as he got it, he streaked away, and he scores this one fairly close to the post. And well, the plot thickens again.
Whoa! And look, Tommy Simpson absolutely giving it to Zach Green after
Here he is. So he's still going, Tommy Simpson.
and run it over to his wing.
Mate, you're allowed to with that. That was certainly kickable. That's a moment
well.
we'd love to have again.
So 4 behind now, the Devils.
He goes from hero to villain just there.
7 minutes to go.
Zach Green.
Tommy Simpson doesn't.
It is the 4-point margin, so still looking for the try, Johnny, but it's crucial. It takes the 2 points. The 2-point leveler, a penalty down the stretch here, would have given him the chance to go level. If he kicks that one, that should have been kicked. Now that's out of play. The Devils, they have to get the try. Laurie, well, he's steaming on that one. That's good contact too. 6 minutes to go, 16-12 the score. The Devils down to 12 men. Looking to come home with a wet sail and steal this one.
Find a penalty. Come on. Find one.
Tamari He's just short of the 40. Rodriguez on to Dixon. And that one sneaks over the top. They won't say penalty. Mitch Porter appealing for one. He won't get it either. Rodriguez on the short side, and the chip for Sutton. We've seen two chasers hit the deck over here, and they're going to say penalty. They're going to say penalty. And, well, Johnny, I'll tell you what happens now. You could have... This takes the decision. That would have been a tough decision. Do you go for the 2 and try to level up from a tough distance? Well, the fact he's hit that one into the upright,
he's got to press
they've got
on.
to go for the try. So this decision becomes an easy one. And the Devils looking to come home with a wet sail. I don't think I've ever seen, Johnny, a side with 13 men against 12 battling so hard to hang on. Second man now. Green, some space for Hanbury. Early ball for Hurst. Skipping towards the sideline. 5 minutes less, 16-12 the score. It doesn't sound like much, but it is plenty of time, Johnny. Don't need to get too excited here, the Devils. Get to the end of the set, see what position they're in.
They'll be looking for a repeat
And if
here.
you can't get the points, look for the repeat. And he went close there, Wade Stanford. Luke Gallagher. What a tackle that was, the Gladiator.
Here we go.
And now we see Green. Rodriguez. Rodriguez dummies. He's dragged down 5 metres out. Noble making that tackle. Green, long ball for Porter. He's put that on the toe and regathered. Are they going to say play that? They won't. No, the touch judge. The touch judge is going to say knock off the rule. Knock off the rule, and that. Well, Johnny, for me,
I thought Mitch Porter dropped that.
It is.
Where we are.
It is in our. It is in our bit of a blind spot down there. Mitchy Porter definitely got the ball onto the toe, so he did kick it. He certainly kicked it, but I'm not sure what happened in the scramble after there. The touch judge was right next to it.
Have you got that feeling that West are going to score?
Oh, Porter,
Because I do.
Porter put that on the...
I just got that feeling that the Devils are just going to somehow pull a 4-pointer out of the bag with 12 men on the field.
Interested to see if they do where it'll be, because it is that 4-point margin. The twists and turns in this one, Johnny.
Go, Sauce.
We didn't even consider the draw, Johnny, this week. Nathan Phoenix cheering him home.
Just over next door.
Doesn't quite know what's going on yet, or that his side's in the minor premiership reckoning. But Dixon, he'll be tackled. He's just to the right of the upright. Stanford a dummy half. Rodriguez back on the inside for Hanbury. Some space for Hanbury.
Good defence, Jack Noble.
Good defence. They've got some numbers on the left. If they go there. Green again. Long ball for Hurst. He's going to go one-on-one with Tower. That can be a bit of a fool's errand. So Hurst will play at 5 metres in from touch. Last tackle. They'll go to Rodriguez. He's going to put this one high towards the post. He's got Dixon and Morrissey going with it, and Fletcher taking no chances. Bat that one dead.
Well, they'll soak up the clock here, the Butchers now. I think you get about 90 seconds or something, don't you, before...
Well, the way Fletcher went up and knocked that one dead, he looked like he was in the back pocket for the Sydney Swans there. He was taking no chances. He wasn't giving up the mark at all.
Knocking it over for a behind.
He does. He put it straight through, but it will be the Devils. I'll tell you what, if they can get home here, the Devils, there won't be enough Coke Zeros on the planet to keep the old boys happy down there.
If they do get over the line, it'll have to be one of the gutsiest wins.
The short one. And we almost see a one-on-one steal there as well.
Too smart.
That was a clever play.
Finally take out victory.
I think my young bloke's going to get kicked out of this box in a minute.
Mate, wasn't it a great play, but wasn't it a gamble? To give the ball back 10 metres out, they took the odds to it, Johnson. That's a huge play. 2 minutes left. You think they will get the ball back at some stage here, the Devils, but the Butchers have their way with it. It'll be deep down in their own end. Walsh into dummy half now. Sirinen onto that one. He'll play at 30 metres out, 15 in from touch. And Johnson, well, he's just hammered that straight into touch. Zach Green almost put a hand on it. I don't know what he was thinking there. So they're going to try to pack the scrum. And they haven't got a forward pack there. I don't know where all their forwards are.
That play from the dropout Absolutely sensational. That eyes up vision. We weren't expecting it. No one was expecting it.
I was looking to see how much time was left. And so a minute 35 on the clock, 16-12 the score. And they strike at the ball too. I think he's knocked on to the back of the scrum. He has.
Wow.
Zach Green at the back of the scrum, and I think it was a strike. Joel Johnson, the crafty old number 9, he just struck out at that one as was being fed. And
it's like a little old school push there from the Butchers, wasn't it, in that scrum?
Johnny, what a mixed last 10 minutes for Zach Green. They're not in this game without him, without setting up that try solo. Then he's cannoned a conversion into the uprights. And just there, hands possession back to the Butchers. I reckon Tommy Simpson will have another word to say after that one on this edge.
Is he getting the Trent from Punchy haircut back going?
Oh, I think he is, and I love it. Mate, Wade Stanford was rocking the best Trent from Punchy.
Yeah. He had the award.
He had the absolute award. As the Butchers now with Tatawa. Well, all they have to do is run out the clock here, so the Devils need to look for something. A one-on-one strip.
He's playing on one leg dodge, isn't he?
Rodriguez, he's gone for the one-on-one strip. He'll be sent back to play it. He wasn't on the mark at all as Johnson dummies. Tackled by Hanbury. 41 seconds left on the clock.
What did I tell you then? Just press that. Please.
Sirinen, he's dumped on his back. He's directly under the back dot. Johnson. Long for Walsh. Walsh, the kick in behind with 20 seconds left. Looking for Crosland. And Crosland, he hasn't got the bounce.
7 tackles.
They're going to have time. It'll be a 7 tackle set. They're not going to have 7 tackles, Johnny. They're going to have a play, and that'll be about it. 11 seconds left. 10, 9. So it's just going to have to be a trick shot to start with. They've gone to Green. That ball's gone behind Barbudo. And he's going to have to throw it back inside. There'll be no time left. And that is full time. No, they're going to let him play it. They're going to get one last shot at it here, Green. The chip kick, he's looking for Hurst in pursuit. And Fletcher will take that. Laurie he's going to cop it here.
Well,
Laurie's going to cop it here.
What's happened there?
Well, Johnny, we were just giving him a rap for controlled aggression and for keeping things in check this afternoon. But Johnny, that wasn't unnecessary.
Was not needed there. He's had such a good game, Dylan Laurie. He's been so aggressive, controlled aggression all game there. But that last play there, let's just hope for Ryan Fletcher down on the deck that it's nothing too serious there. We've seen him clutching at the ribs.
I think he is okay.
But for someone like Dylan Laurie's had such a good game. Is that a bit of frustration creeping in?
I think it was absolutely a bit of frustration there. The game's done and dusted. He's got the ball. Of course, you've got to complete the tackle, but play just about done there.
Let's see what Ryan Jackson does here with this.
Well, as far as the rules go, Johnny, it wasn't high, it wasn't late. It was completing a tackle, so I don't think he's got too much to worry about in that regard.
It's on report.
But it will be on report. I don't know what you can possibly charge him with. He's just come in and completed a tackle.
He's done the Nathan Hindmarsh.
He's come in and done it. Yeah, I don't think he'll have anything to worry about, Johnny, on that one, because it's hard to say what rule he's broken. It was just, as you said, unnecessary. Bit of a sour end to it, but that is full time. 16-12 the score. Thirroul Butchers over the Devils. It could be the match that wraps up the minor premiership for them. But Johnny, I'll tell you what, I can't wait to see these two sides meet again. Let's hope that'll be the case.
Yeah, I think it will be the case. We'll see him in week 1 of the semi-finals. Winner of that one should go through to the big dance. But that match, we've been talking about it for weeks. It was what it was all lived up to be today.
Absolutely, it did. So many times it looked like the Devils dead and buried. They found something, but the Butchers, they come up with some big plays of their own down the stretch to keep it there. And now we're seeing the old boys keeping the banter going down here. All in good fun, good to see. But well done, Thirroul Butchers, 16-12. They run out winners in this one. As we said, the finals looming. Well, sure they'll meet again. It'll be worth the price of admission when they do. Thank you very much for joining us. I've been Mitch Jennings from the Illawarra Mercury. A big thank you to our broadcast partners, UOW College and McDonald's. Thank you, Johnny Pett. We'll see you out there next week, somewhere in the Illawarra.